Yeah, our parents, I don't think they wanted to deal with our kinky hair.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't
So
think
we started at an early age.
very early. Very
Straightening
early.
our hair. And after that, it was, you had to do it.
You had to, yeah.
Every 3 months or every 4 months.
For what feels like my entire life, I've struggled with embracing my natural hair. If it wasn't pinned straight, it was hidden in buns and braids. I noticed I wasn't alone. Many of my friends and family were all struggling with the same problem. Why was it that so many Afro-Latinas struggle with embracing their natural curls? What was the deeper issue? I wanted to know the answer, so I asked my family for help.
Coming from a Latina family, they're always gonna say something. It's just part of how it is. Even if it's a good thing, even if it's a bad thing, you know, you just have to brace yourself for the comments.
My sister and I, it's a battle. She tell me, what are you gonna do your hair? When are you going to the salon? And on and on and on. And I just tell her, Anna, leave me alone. I'll go to the salon whenever I want. I'll do my hair whichever I want.
Whenever I go see my aunt, she's always gonna make a comment. She's gonna be like, Monica, yes, afro. Yes, afro, Monica. And I'm like, well, can't you just, like, this is my hair. You have the same hair, but you know, didn't embrace it. And I understand that, like, for her, it means something different than it does for me.
I would hear straighten your hair so much that I began to police myself. If I had an in-class presentation, I'd have to straighten my hair. Or if there was a school dance, I wouldn't feel pretty if my hair wasn't straight.
It hurt to get your hair permed. And my parents have a phrase, my mom had a phrase, and she used to say, el que quiere moños bonitos, tiene que aguantar jalones, meaning that if you want pretty hair, you have to deal with the pain as well. So I was raised with that.
Bueno, mi hija yo la empecé a desrizar a los 14. A los 14 años, porque tenía el pelo, como quien dice, un pelo malo. Tú ves, un pelo ahí, como le dicen, no un pelo crespo, no un pelo malo. Porque el pelo crespo es el tuyo, que ni es malo ni es bueno. Pero ella viene de un pelo de malo.
Mi pelo era un pelo malo y había que desrizárselo.
¿Puedes describir un pelo malo?
Un pelo malo, un pelo malo. El pelo duro. Eso es un pelo malo.
If you look a little bit more African or and less Spanish, it's considered bad. And I think that's where it actually comes from. The Africans in my country were slaves. So I can see how looking a certain way, how now we attach straight hair as good hair and curly, very curly hair is seen as bad hair.
If you don't understand where you come from, you don't understand who you are. And if you don't understand who you are, you don't know where you're going, right? And you can't stop things, especially when it comes to like racial things. You don't understand the context of your own life if you don't understand the context of the history around you. So like when people say like, oh, you're going out like that, your hair looks crazy. It's not necessarily that my hair actually looks crazy and I look bad. It's because my hair, you know, signifies something that has historical importance. And so if you're gonna continue to have natural hair or continue to do anything, you have to know what you're up against, and to know what you're up against, you need to know your history.
It's an anti-Black culture, and it's no fault of our own. And you know, We were oppressed people. People forget that most of the slaves that came from West Africa never made it to North America. Most of them stopped in the Caribbean and throughout South America. So there were many Africans there. People, a lot of us Latinos be like, yeah, you know, I got some Taino. And I'm like, it's a good chance you don't. Okay, it's a good chance you don't.
Remember, in our generation, you will not find like
A little black dog.
a little black dog
With an afro.
with an afro. Very rare will you see a famous black woman. We grew up with the nice long straight hair, the Barbie look. I even remember when I was young, my mother took us to Dominican Republic, one of those big dolls that they used to sell back then with the nice blue eyes, blonde hair, like beautiful white lily skin. And I fell in love with that doll. For me, that was a goddess, a goddess.
You look at most novelas, and most of them, a lot of them are Mexican, but they look white. Most Mexicans don't look like that, and that is a fact. That's a fact. So just that in itself, the representation in the media of you know, what a Latina is supposed to look like. I love me some J-Lo, but again, when people think of a Puerto Rican, they're like, yeah, J-Lo and Marc Anthony, and it's like, okay. They think of a Colombian, and they're like Sofia Vergara, like, and these are beautiful women, and they do represent a part of us, but they're not the majority.
In the Dominican Republic, the kids grew up with the saying that, hey, if you take a bath with rice water, you become white. And if you remember, if you notice when you wash the rice, your hands does get a little black, a little white, a little white. Yes. And me trying to look like this beautiful doll that my mother brought me, I did that. It was the culture, the way ones grew up, the belief that white is beautiful, black was not. So we try to imitate. We try to look better because that's the way we're raised, you know, the nice, long, straight hair.
I was digging for an answer to what the deeply rooted issue was within our culture and why so many Afro-Latinas struggle with embracing their natural hair. What I found was that there's a change happening, a movement of embracing our roots that's transcending generations.
Yo diría que comete uno errores, porque como que el pelo natural es muy bueno, en el sentido que hay menos posibilidad de que se le caigan, porque ella tenía mucho, pero mucho pelo, y de que se empezó a poner químico, no tiene ni la mitad de lo que ella tenía. Ahora me gusta el proceso de mi nieta, que ella no desriza a su hija.
Still, I have so much of my culture and from my parents rooted in me that I was still not able to make that complete move away from that. I think the fact that now I'm able to pass that on to my kids, but they have less, they still have their culture, but they have less of that pressure from their grandparents.
To succeed here, you have to be as white as possible to fit in and to have an easier life because of the way this country runs. The more American you look, the easier time you have. Natural hair has become such a movement because it's like this embracing of your roots again. But we have the space and the time and the ability to really like hold on to that now. I don't think that other generations have had that ability without actual risk, you know, to their wallets and to their lives.
The new generation, they love the curly hair. You know, me, I love it, but it's just not me.
It's a one-day thing.
Yeah, like I can do it one day a
curly
week.
one weekend.
Yeah,
Next
but
weekend,
then
I
gotta go back to, you know, having it straight or with the curling iron or stuff like that.
It's important that we do embrace our natural hair because it's fighting back against oppression that has lasted way too long. Like, no, we're not slaves. No, we're not technically being lynched, but we're enslaved in the mind and in the heart. We don't like the way our hair looks. We hide from the sun because God forbid you get any darker than what you are. And so I'm like, for me, it's like, our hair and accepting it, that's a political statement, and that's like an act of rebellion.
Me gustaría ahora mismo, actualmente, me gustaría tener un pelo, como quien dice, natural. Natural del sentido de hacerme un afrito. Me gustaría.
Personally, like, I feel so much cuter. Like, in like the most vain way. Like, yeah, I feel so much, like, my hair, I haven't had this much hair in so long.
Now I have curly hair and I love it. I think I've never had more fun with my hair than I've had now. My hair looks good today.
Watching how my, I guess, success in my journey is like reflecting my sister and how her hair is flourishing. That is so liberating. Like, yo, when it rains and I'll be like, like, whatever.
I am so proud to be an Afro-Latina. I'm in love with my natural curls. They're beautiful and powerful, and every time I walk outside, I feel so strong.